Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stupid O'Clock. I'm Joe Dog. We got Joe Bachman and Dan Hollifield here. Thank you, Dan, for that great opening song.
Every time I hear that, I go, I did that. I keep hearing new stuff that I didn't hear originally.
Oh, okay. I uh that's not the opening song I was talking about.
Oh, the other one. Well, it was so dark. Had to fire off some bottle rockets so I could
Mm.
see.
He's got no clue, does he, Joe?
I don't think so.
You just got to catch it on replay.
What did you give me creator credit for the Star Spangled Banner?
No. I just played something new and different at the opening.
Oh,
It was new and it was different.
one of these days, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to have
what's
a
going
long
on?
talk with that boy. Ah,
I can't believe Carl hasn't chimed in on that.
oh, he called it a human rights violation.
Yeah. He also says it's going to take a lot of denial to forget that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to get up and go to the bathroom during it now. Uh, Carl, do you honestly believe Joe Dog's going to take the blame for anything?
Oh. Donna said, "You're lucky, Dan. It was just the rubber chicken singing what's going on."
Oh, okay. Well, that was not mine.
I'm
Believe
waiting
me.
for the notification from, YouTube or Facebook or somebody.
The United Arab Emirates is going to claim the rubber chicken
Yeah.
song now.
Donna had to take off her headphones. It was horrible. I loved it.
Naturally.
But I did start it with a disclaimer, didn't I, Joe?
You did? You did.
My favorite disclaimer.
You do realize that my mother has access to YouTube now.
Oh, okay. Well, it started out with probably one of her favorite lines from one of her favorite movies.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
And then I played it.
I believe the honey badger line would have fit better with that one.
Mr. Burgles, there is a, yeah. Say goodnight, Mr. Burgles.
Good night, troll.
How the hell?
IP randomizer. You'll have to keep doing it till the idiot gets through.
Okay.
Used to have that on the chat networks.
Old IRC.
Soon as you kick and ban somebody, they come back under a different IP address. Sometimes you've got to ban an entire continent to get rid of them.
Yeah, well, we're good. I can do this all night. So, John, Dan, Joe, carry it on. Looks like I'm going to be busy for a while.
Yep. No, it's not you, Josh. It's not you. We can tell. You've got better manners. And basically, how close are we to HallowCon?
Well, I can tell you. Alexa, how many days till October 27th?
October 27th is in 141 days.
141 days.
All right.
So 140 days I'll be there.
Yep. And the event this weekend that's going to keep me from doing Saturday night's Last Man Standing. And my wife thinks I'm going to skip the green room tomorrow night just because I got to go to bed early. My little brother's already at the hotel in Macon, and he is going to be inducted as some form or another of Grand Poobah for his Mason's Lodge. So the whole family's going to be there, or the immediate family is going to be there. And we all going to be dressed up. I'll even take my teeth so I can be in photographs, and my mother will not be upset with me because, after having gotten dentures, I realized that I should have taken much better care of myself when I was younger. Carl, I got 10 on that. You want to match it?
Oh, Carl, is that guy popping up on the page you're tuned into?
No, it's on your page, Joe.
It is? Okay.
Yep.
It
It's the
seems to be
Joe Dog
coming from a
McKeel page.
Yep. It seems to be coming from a YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
sure.
I was trying to track it down and see which page he was on, make sure it wasn't the other one.
He's quick, I'll tell you.
It's automated.
Yeah. And Carl, if I ban you, go somewhere else and tell me I just banned you.
Okay. Donna says it's only on YouTube, but
Yeah.
the comments keep.
Well, it's on the Joe Dog McKeel YouTube page that this guy is posting it from. It's not from
Okay.
the one that it's not from the page that Donna and Carl are viewing from. I'm not going to
Okay.
say the name of in case this is actually a person listening and decides to jump over to that channel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. I see which one it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Shit.
and in answer to your question, we don't have any problems, not even you. Fribble off to the Pribbleoffs, little boy. What else is going on?
You had to change accounts. It's a different picture.
Yep.
You're wearing him down. StreamYard can do this all day, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like 2 mouse clicks. So whenever you get tired.
See, that's the bad thing is if I do the stream to my audience thing, I can't remove it. I can't ban them and remove them through StreamYard. I have to actually have my channel pulled up.
Yep. Oh, and it's not even showing up on the YouTube channel that I'm commenting on.
Carl says they just had a motorcycle backfire. Thought it was a gunshot. Now, here in about a month, we're all going to be playing everyone's favorite game. Was that a firework or was that a gunshot? Or is that a firework going into a transformer?
Well, my cover artist for Aphelion has now been doing covers for us for 10 years straight.
Wow.
Yep. And he used to be one of the short story editors, and he was the flash fiction editor for a while. And the guy's still hanging around. He's just doing covers because, he's got to have time to write his own stuff and do his art. He does ice sculptures and stone carvings and stuff like that. Oh, this is a deserter from the Russian army bots.
Yeah.
Too cowardly to go face the Ukrainians, so you had to go back to Russia.
Mhm.
Do, 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 do.
Oh, I'm just sort of looking at, you know, what?
Well, I have your channel pulled up, and you had
Yeah.
pinned his message there for a moment. So, what are you writing right now, Carl? I see you said you started writing again. Enjoy, Josh.
I'm gonna have to get back over here on my page, on the show page, so I can just blank it.
Yep.
Carl, I haven't had to. Well, I've had to deal with him the last few days, but after him and I kind of had it out, I think he's finally seeing my point of view.
Oh, I'm thinking about, you know what I'd love to have is a bunch of bacon right now.
I
Do, 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 do.
bacon's always a good thing.
Yeah, bacon and pork chops.
Uh,
But
well,
oh Lord,
Oh well. You know what? Let's just ignore him.
that works for me.
Yeah. Uh,
So where's Rich at tonight?
I don't.
And
Well, Rich has been away for a while. He's got some stuff he's trying to deal with, and good lord,
I see Dawn's not in the chat yet either.
yeah.
well, it's not 10 minutes to the end of the show.
Well, she's normally in the chat at the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, maybe he's probably one of those Hindu type people. You know, really can't stand any of them. Ooh, a bacon cheeseburger with good black Angus beef.
Oh, yeah. There's some folks that I watch have been doing food videos from America. They're English and they took a vacation over here in Florida.
Yeah.
They just released their video of the first time they ever had Wendy's.
The Baconator.
Nope.
What?
The husband went for the triple cheeseburger, and the wife went for the spicy chicken. And she
Oh.
said the Wendy's spicy chicken was the spiciest one she's had since they got to their Florida vacation.
Mm.
Timothy, my little brother, I swear. Street address, dude. Street address.
Uh,
A few years ago, we were doing a cookout at my neighbor's house. We did bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers
Ooh,
on the
that
smoker.
sounds good.
On the smoker.
oh, I bet that was good.
Oh, it
Uh-huh.
was phenomenal. And these weren't like these weren't tiny jalapenos. These were about yay long, and oh, they were good.
I bet.
I need to have him make some more of those.
You know, when I was a kid, I couldn't handle hot peppers of any kind. And then sometime during college, I went to a party and they had nachos with sliced veggies and different dips and things. And for some reason, I utterly pigged out on those nachos with the nice slices of jalapeno on them. And
Mhm.
ever since then, I've been able to take not extraordinarily hot food, but mildly hot. A lot of people would think it didn't have any heat at all, but I'm not a glutton for punishment.
Oh, I made the mistake of habaneros and chili,
Oh,
and about half swallow, I had to cough.
oh,
Oh dear.
oh, that had to hurt.
I went blind.
Well, yeah.
And have you ever tried to flush your sinuses before?
That
No.
sounds horribly uncomfortable.
Oh, it's well, the problem was when it hit, it's like, oh God, grabbed a paper towel, blew my nose.
Those mucous membranes were permanently removed, weren't they?
Mhm.
Oh, it hurt. Yes, it hurt. And I have not been able to handle hot food ever since.
Yeah. Now I have been collecting different homegrown peppers from guys at work. They just bring in a grocery bag full of them, different things, lay it on the counter, say, y'all help yourself. Got more than I can eat at home. And there would be habaneros in there. There'd be jalapenos. There'd be chilies and Tabascos and all kind of stuff. And I'd bring one or two of the habaneros back and slice them up. And I've got about a 1 gallon jar that I put sliced peppers in with apple cider vinegar and just let it pickle. And it ages until you got 14, 15 different varieties of peppers in there. Some of them extremely hot, some of them mild,
Mhm.
some of them just ordinarily hot. And when I make a pot of chili, I'll put a spoonful or two, not knowing what they are anymore because they've been in the vinegar for a year or two to 3 years.
Mhm.
I just keep refilling the jar. And luckily, I don't put enough of the extremely hot peppers in there for it to be just an absolute waste of my time to have them. Because who wants to go to the hospital for eating chili?
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever seen the Larry the Cable Guy, American Eats or whatever?
I don't believe I have.
I think I caught a few episodes of it.
He went to the Tabasco plant down in Louisiana.
Ooh,
no.
I bet that was interesting.
Oh yeah. Do you know why Tabasco is so good? They get their barrels from the Jack Daniels distillery that they
Oh.
ferment it.
Okay. That
That sort of
makes sense.
sort of explains it. Well, they opened one of the barrels up, they don't run it out the bung, they pull the end off of it.
Mhm.
And Larry's looking at it and he takes and sticks his finger in it. He goes, "This is the fresh stuff, right?" He goes, "Yep." He says, "Yeah, we cut it down to about 30%." And he went, "Oh, So I shouldn't have done that. And he goes, nope.
So,
you're gonna have to wear rubber gloves to go to the restroom, boy.
oh yeah. So the first year we had our raised garden bed put in, my neighbor wanted us to plant a bunch of hot peppers. So we put in some hot cayenne, some Carolina Reaper, some ghost peppers, habaneros, jalapenos, and then some more milder ones like some poblanos, green peppers, stuff like that, and banana peppers. Well, we took a bunch of the hot peppers and fermented them, and then ran them through his still.
Ooh. Oh my.
It was about 70% when it came out. About 75% was about the highest we got. I don't know if the burn was from the alcohol or the peppers. It tasted phenomenal. You could it had a great flavor,
Imagine so.
but it went down like kerosene. Um,
And came out like a flamethrower, probably.
well, we were wusses about it when we decided to taste test it. You know the cheap water bottles that have a cap that's about yay big.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what we filled up with and did our little test shots with, and it was still hotter than hell. Um,
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
we
Now
ended
we
up
got
giving it all away. I think we might have 1 pint left that's been sitting for 2 years.
that probably ought to last the rest of everyone's lives.
Yeah, with the hot peppers soaking inside of it. Um,
Yeah.
ended up giving. We were telling one of the DJs up at one of the clubs about it, and he goes, that would probably make a great spicy Bloody Mary. Yeah, that probably would. So we took him a
Probably.
jar. I went back up about 3 days later and said, "So how's that Bloody Mary?" He goes, "You got any more?" It's like, Jesus Christ, you went through that whole pint already? Because we didn't cut it back any.
It's all relative. One of the guys that grows the peppers, he thinks Carolina Reaper is just a little bit on the slightly more than mild side, and started talking about growing ghost peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, when he brings a bag of peppers in and puts it on the tabletop there at work, a lot of us just look at the tabletop and go, how long is that piece of formica going to last?
Yeah. I just put a link over into private chat, guys. The news story is roughly an hour and 20 minutes old. So, there is some breaking national news. We're not going to talk about it here. But yeah.
Oh, this is what Lindsay was talking about just before the show started. Okay, well, would you boot yourself off?
No.
What happened?
I said that breaking news and it just,
Oh, it broke you.
yeah. Yeah, I don't, yeah. So, we're not going to talk about that, but it is,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure this is going to be water cooler conversation for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing that I've had happen with spicy peppers, I thought it'd be a good idea to get powdered jalapeno from the local grocery store.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Oh, yeah. The Strachan Van Til, which is a local grocery store chain in Northwest Indiana, they have their own brand of seasonings, and one of them is a big ass thing of powdered jalapeno. Great to put in
Okay.
chili if you use it in moderation. My mom did not. I came home from work one day, opened the storm door to get to the front door, and the smell hit me outside.
Ooh.
I open the door, I walk in, she's in the kitchen, and I said, "Oh, made chili, huh?" She goes, "Yeah, didn't make as much as usual. I just, did it in the turbo cooker." I said, "Oh, so what'd you use for spices?" She goes, "Oh, the normal, some of the jalapeno powder, the chili powder, this, that, the other thing." I said, "Oh, um, did you happen to cut back on how much of each you put in?" She goes, "Oh no." Like, "Oh yeah." She goes, "You think it's spicy?" I said, "Mom, it hit me at the front door." She goes, "When you walked in?" I said, "No, when I opened the storm door." She goes, "Oh shit."
That's gonna
So
be some.
I
That's gonna be some good chili.
bravely took a teaspoon and dipped it in, got a little bit of the juice, slurped that down, and damn near choked to death.
Uh,
The burning was not love.
it was actually an attack.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that
Our
was a full
close,
frontal attack.
our closest Waffle House did an with the habaneros and the pickles.
oh dear, we're all
Some
ears.
somebody dumped the pickles into the habanero side and dumped the hobs in the pickles.
I don't. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah,
It was sort of weird when I'd get almost a small pile of pickles about yay big piled high, and I'm thinking, whoo, he's got a little bit of a kick to him, and uncovered the jalapeno.
Uh huh.
And the waitress was right there, and I said, "Did you know that was in there?" She said, "Oh shit." She
Yeah.
walked over, looked in, and I could hear the rattles, and I could hear thump thump into the garbage can. They contaminated both.
yep.
Yeah.
But those are pretty damn good pickles. They had a little bit of a bite to them.
My grandmother, God love her, she made pumpkin pie one time, and this goes back to the whole kind of what we were talking about before the show, Dan, the macular degeneration.
Yes.
And my mom and I are sitting there, we're eating a slice, and this is good. Man, it's getting warmer. We're going through a whole glass of milk just to get down one piece of pie. But it tasted like pumpkin pie. My mom goes out and she asks my grandma, well, she goes, "Did you do something different with the pie?" She goes, "No." She goes, "You didn't use any different seasoning?" She goes, "No, I put in cinnamon, nutmeg, this, that, and the other." "Oh, okay." Mom walks up to the spice cabinet, opens it up, sitting front and center is cayenne pepper. My mom pulls the bottle out,
Oops.
shows it to my grandmother, and goes, "Is this the cinnamon you use?" And "Yeah, that's it." "Okay." She put that back towards the back, moved the cinnamon actually up to the front.
Uh huh.
We never told her about that.
That was probably an
Um,
interesting pumpkin pie.
It was. It tasted exactly like pumpkin pie. You couldn't taste the cayenne, because she
but it was
used.
definitely there.
Oh yeah,
You could feel it.
yeah, and it wasn't a heat that just came out and attacked you. It was you're eating it. You're like, oh yeah, this is good. And about the third bite in, you're like, man, my mouth is getting warm. And then you keep going. And you're sitting there, you're just kind of guzzling the milk, and
What? Cinnamon's a little strong in this.
yeah.
Really. Um, oh, was it John White? He wrote the Hospital Station series back in the day. He's passed by now. I'm sure. Um, had one story where there was a new cook for the hospital uh, cafeteria, and one of the recipes called for nutmeg. And one of the junior cooks goes, there must have been a mistake there. It said just a few grams, so I put half a pound in this dessert. They had people hallucinating. And by people, I mean all different kinds of aliens as well as humans. Evidently, nutmeg in high concentrations is one of those things that would probably wind up on a federal list of banned substances if anybody was stupid enough to use it in that sort of concentration in a pie or, let's say, a fruit cake. Um, It was a very good story, and it was kind of a detective story because somebody had to figure out what it was that people were reacting to, and the head chef apologized to everybody, and the junior chef that actually made the mistake was not allowed to work on desserts anymore.
So have either of you ever had a gooey butter cake?
Not that I know of.
I can't. It doesn't sound familiar, so I don't think so at all.
So I know there's a few kind of different renditions of it. The recipe that my mother had, the original recipe was a Duncan Hines yellow cake for the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The gooey topping is a pound of powdered sugar. Yeah. I believe 2 sticks of butter and a brick of cream cheese, all whipped together. You okay there, Joe Dog?
I think I felt the pains of just thinking about it.
I hope that none of our viewers are either lactose intolerant or diabetic, because just hearing that could kill somebody.
I'm going to get to that in a second. So that was the original recipe, and then you could add in, like, I think the original recipe actually had shredded coconut mixed in with the gooey topping.
Okay.
And you actually saved back like 1 or 2 cups of powdered sugar to kind of sprinkle over the top after it cooled.
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of my favorite versions of that to make is, I call it the fall version. You use a spice cake for the bottom, apple pie filling in the center.
Okay.
Mix in either some caramel or butterscotch chips with the gooey topping.
Uh-huh.
And bake it. I don't hold back any of the sugar because, well, I mean, there's a pound into the fucking topping. So, I took this in back when I worked at INDOT. There was like a month out of the year, we'd do a bake sale every Monday, and all the proceeds went to the employee fund. So I made one of those up, took it in, had the girls up front cut it up to put on the plates, and went over to my desk, get my day started, and I was even going to buy a slice of my own cake. So I go walking up front, and I see my coworker Charles walk by with the slice. I'm like, okay, they already got it out there, cool. I walk up to the table, I'm looking around, I'm like, where's the cake at? Sean goes, what do you mean? I said, the gooey butter cake. I just saw Charles walk by with a piece. Where's it at? She goes, yeah, he got the last one. That sold out like as soon as we opened. Well, shit, don't even get a piece of my own cake. So I go, this is when I was the IT manager. I start making my morning rounds, and I get up to the construction department, and the admin assistant is sitting there with a nice big piece of that cake. She is diabetic. I looked at her. I said, Val, have you ever had gooey butter cake before? She goes, no. She goes, it looks amazing, though. I said, do you know what the main ingredient is to a gooey butter cake? She goes, well, going by the name, I'm going to say butter. I'm like, no. There's a pound of powdered sugar in the topping. She grabs the fork, cuts off a big old piece, takes a bite, and she goes, oh, this is going to be worth an extra shot of insulin. Jesus
You
Christ.
tried. You tried.
Jesus Christ, I'm going to kill the admin assistant. Okay, Val, I'll come back in about 45 minutes. Make sure you're not convulsing on the floor.
Oh.
Joe, do me a favor and look up a YouTube channel called Holly the Cafe Boat over in England.
Yeah.
And send Joanna that recipe.
Oh, the other Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either one of you can remember the ingredients, and
Actually, I have the recipe upstairs. Luckily, that is one recipe my mom wrote down before she passed. So
that sounds like something that she would sell in teeny tiny thin slices, and people would keep coming back till it was gone.
Yeah, I'm sitting. Have you seen the one to where the British people have biscuits and gravy?
I've seen several. Yes. Now, is it the college age boys, or is it the mature couple?
Any of them.
Oh, well, I mean,
The New Zealand couple followed the recipe. Homemade biscuits with homemade gravy. And they're going, that's a meal. That is a wonderful meal. Yeah, that's breakfast in the South. So
that's part of breakfast.
That's my breakfast every Saturday and Sunday when I go to Tap House. So
really,
get a half order of biscuits and gravy and a side of bacon.
The British couple did that, and she made drop biscuits from scratch from a recipe. Mm-hmm. They just loved it. They came over on their American vacation. They went to Cracker Barrel, and that was one of the things they ordered. They just loved it. Got back to England, and someone had shipped them a container of Pillsbury Flaky Grands biscuits. And the lady goes, I read the directions on how to open this, but it's not doing very, very good. And let me see if I can give it a twist here now that the label's off. Pop!
Scared.
They jumped. Seriously, they jumped. And then she baked the biscuits, and they didn't have any gravy. Just put butter on them, and went, "Oh, this is almost as good as Cracker Barrel." Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
and there's some teenagers. I think it's
oh, the
uh,
school kids.
yeah, Jolly. I think it's a channel name, and
Mm.
they've come to the U.S. a few times and went all over. They were down in I believe it was New Orleans, and got their first taste of real Southern cooking. And I kept thinking, when the waitress came out with the desserts, she should have, just from the compliments that she was being given over everything else the restaurant had made, she should have said, "And would you like a side order of immigration papers to go with that ice cream?" Because they were ready. They were ready to move.
Oh, Joel and Leah. Have you ever seen them?
I may have. I'm not very good with the names sometimes.
They're uh they're not boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or anything. They're two friends. He has a girlfriend, she has a boyfriend, but they travel together. They went to Waffle House.
Okay.
They had no, and they ended up sitting at the counter. And
As
they
you
were
do.
and they actually got to watch them cook the food, and it's like, how do they know what each order is? They just got plates lined up, and he comes over and just starts cooking, throws it on the plate, and it's right. And they're going, how does he do that? They say it's a secret. Of course, there's a video that tells the Waffle House secret.
Uh-huh.
It's the jelly. You know how every Waffle House plate has a pack of jelly on it.
Uh-huh. Yep. Comes in handy sometimes for grits.
Where the flavor of the jelly means something. Position on the plate means something. And if it's flipped over, it means something completely different.
Oh, it's code for the workforce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because, when they call the order, you see the cook, he reaches up and grabs a plate and throws the jelly on there. If you watch them, they place it in certain things. And that's the code to what to cook.
Now, you this may be off base here, but you have been to what's the proper name? Oh, come on. They just moved the damn restaurant.
Varsity?
That's the one. And when you go in and order something and you hear them hollering their code back and forth to the kitchen, and you go, "That don't sound edible," and then you get your food and go, "Okay, hey, these onion rings are good."
Don't they use Vidalia onions?
Yeah, I do believe they do, um, and lots of them. And one thing I used to do, I would go to the taco stand and get a jumbo burrito deluxe combo to go. Drive up to the Varsity about a mile away. Get an order of onion rings and have a burrito with onion rings, followed by a spinach quesadilla.
Oh,
Oh,
that's like me going to Crystal getting. Well, I have to go to Wendy's first because otherwise it won't make it to the Wendy's. I go to Wendy's and get the big thing of chili, and then go to
uh-huh.
Crystal and get 5, 6 cheese crystals, and you dip the crystals in the chili.
That'd
That's
be
good.
good.
Mhm.
So I posted a link in the private chat to
I've
a.
already got the page open.
So yeah, the topping is you blend cream cheese, 2 eggs, vanilla extract if you want to, and they wimp out at 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. I used the whole pound.
Okay.
Um,
There's a
and
strawberry version. Oh my God.
oh, I bet that's amazing.
I'm just looking at the recipe on the page.
I
Oh
didn't see that.
Lord. Uh, Either Joanna's going to love me or Vic is going to take out a contract on my life.
Oh, 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 oh,
Oh,
oh.
and when you grease the pan, you take one of the sticks of butter and use that to grease it.
Well, of course. What else would you do? I am
Why
Southern.
we don't waste butter around here. We actually use it.
Yeah, really. Take about half a stick of butter to grease a family-sized pan.
Dan, you understand the meaning of junk roadkill, don't you?
I certainly hope not.
When you see the pile of stuff out on the side of the road.
Yeah. The poor man's divorce settlement. Yes.
Yeah. Guess what I picked up 2 or 3 days ago?
A homeless guy with a lot of stuff.
No, a Sunbeam stand mixer.
Oh, good Lord! How old?
Old, but it works.
Well, of course it works. The people that designed that also built nuclear reactors in the 50s. Of course it works.
And it still has most all the attachments and bowls.
Oh Lord, if that don't become part of the HallowCon kitchen kit, you are probably going to piss Megan off, or at least.
That son bitch ain't leaving my kitchen.
Okay. I understand.
I have seen videos of how to make butter with one of those.
Ooh.
Actually, yes. It shouldn't be that difficult. It's just a matter of probably a low speed and a long churn.
Yeah. So maybe the butter at HallowCon this year may be fresh butter.
Ooh.
May not be a week old.
Now, wait a minute, Joe Dog. I know you.
No, I'm not going to mess with the food.
You damn well better not.
Hey, no. Them fighting words. Them fighting terms when messing with food.
Oh no, you don't mess with. And now the video's restarted on. I haven't even touched the iPad, and now it's going back to the beginning. Okay, well,
you hit
I didn't hit anything.
Yeah, Carl says I just heard Donna in the fridge. Good job, guys.
Hey,
and Carl, I sent you the link to that gooey butter cake also, but I would keep that away from Donna. She should not be within 50 feet of it.
Yeah, there's Dawn.
Oh,
Hey,
hello, Dawn.
She missed all
Gooey,
the food talk.
gooey butter cake. Yeah, that's okay. Well,
All right, we're back.
all right. I am not even going to try and catch up with the video. I'm just going to try and keep track with the chat there.
Yeah, Dan just looked down and just totally missed that one, Joe.
I was trying to figure out what the hell happened at first.
You're having fun at my expense. Oh, one of my album covers.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna pull it out of the box, clean it up. I may take pictures of it and post it on Facebook soon.
Oh, please do.
Definitely.
It's that sunbeam brown. It looks like it's at least a 60s model.
It probably should last if you don't overheat the motor. It probably should last until the 2060s.
Probably.
Yeah, I think it'll probably outlast me.
You might need a bearing or two replaced from time to time, but
A little WD-40 take care of that.
you do not squirt WD-40 in bearings. I learned that the hard way.
You know that big metal fan behind the bar at HallowCon?
Uh-huh.
That's roadkill. I picked it up. I first thing I normally do when I pick up appliances like that, I cut the cord off the end of it for scrap metal. I looked at that and I go, that looks too new. So I took it home, I plugged it up and went, and I took a screwdriver in and moved it and it went, I said, okay, little WD-40. That son bitch about blows itself over now.
I would have used 3-in-1 oil.
Mm-hmm. Well, WD-40 did the trick.
WD-40 evaporates, though.
Well, I got a whole can of it.
And it drives, well, it might have done a good job driving the original grease out of the bearings.
Mm-hmm.
And then you replace it with 3-in-1 oil or the stuff we got on the farm in 5-gallon barrels. The partially hydrogenated lithium grease. That was some really clean stuff till you actually pumped it into a bearing on the tractor, and didn't take long for it to turn dark, but it would glide like nobody's business. But no, I had made the mistake of there were a couple of squeaky bearings on a disc harrow, and I just happened to have a can of WD-40 in the tractor toolbox on the fender, so I sprayed that bearing and went ahead and did the rest of that. Might have been a 50, 60 acre field. Got it back to the house, and Dad was looking at it. He goes, "There's grease dripping out of this thing." Come to find out, I had ruined the bearings that we were going to have to replace in a couple of months. But we had to replace them that week.
Well, when I did it on the fan, it was just a little couple little drops, just enough to turn it loose. But WD-40, that's the 40th version of the formula, water displacement formula.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the other 39?
They didn't work. They only kept the formula for the one that worked. Of course, the other 39 probably also did not make as good a personal flamethrower.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you can start a campfire with WD-40.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it almost smells like charcoal fluid when it burns.
Yeah. The safety rules at work used to be more suggestions than actual rules.
Mm.
And we've always had a population of practical jokers. But we had one fellow find out the hard way. He was trying to play a practical joke involving a can of WD-40 and a Bic lighter, and realized that a brand new can of WD-40 will broadcast a large flame for at least 12 yards.
Mm.
Fortunately, I was not the target of the practical joke. I was standing in the background going, "You're going to get fired.
Hey,
If you send that boy to the hospital, you're going to get fired."
we had a safety meeting once.
Oh, hello, John.
Hey, John.
Wait a minute. You only had a safety meeting once? I figured where
Well,
you worked, they'd have like a safety meeting twice a day.
Yeah.
And once is all we ever needed. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, this one was rather humorous.
I could see Joe getting asked into a safety meeting because of stuff he does in safety meetings.
No, the safety meeting was about
Hey, girl.
how flammable flatulence is, and it's not recommended to be done on the job site. Because the poor boy that did it backdraft.
this is a reason why.
That definitely sounds like a Joe Dog safety briefing.
This is the reason why living in dorms and fraternity houses during college is a bad idea.
Hey, in the military, if they have a special safety briefing, and that you get your normal safety briefings, which is don't drink and drive, don't go anywhere without a friend, that sort of stuff, and then you get these ones, don't steal goats from farmers for sexual purposes, and everybody looks at the one guy in the safety briefing. It's
Well, there goes my weekend.
Yeah. Well, needless to say,
It's okay. You're not in the military. You can get away with it.
He ended up with second-degree burns
internal.
around his.
Yes, internal burns.
Yes.
It wasn't internal.
And had to
but
regrow some hair too.
Yeah, there was hair that had to be regrown, and let's just say the clamping force he had to be real cautious with for a few weeks.
Last time I saw some idiot do that, shall we just say a brand new pair of blue jeans had to be replaced?
Yeah. No. And the thing was,
we almost got a demonstration of the wick effect and spontaneous human combustion. But no, somebody had to be really Johnny on the spot with a glass of water.
Well, you should have seen them trying to conduct this safety meeting. And me in the back.
I'm sure that helped a lot.
Carl brought this one up. You know, I can't remember the comedian's name. Wish I could, because I'd love to give him credit for it. He did the joke about. I want to. What was his name? He had a Spanish sounding name.
Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy,
No, older than that.
George Lopez.
Something like that, but older. He was very deadpan comic.
Okay.
Not Stephen Wright, but kind of like him, but he had more of a Hispanic name.
Mm-hmm.
And he did this joke about, says, you ever wonder what happened to the guys that tested preparation A through J? That's like...
Isn't preparation H mostly alum?
Witch hazel, I think, is one of them. Is one.
I have never actually
I've never used it. Well,
had an occasion to pick up a tube and read the ingredients.
I have never used it myself, but I actually had to buy a tube of ointment for a friend of mine so that he could lose weight and pass a physical fitness test.
I am afraid to ask what the connection is.
The night before the test, they would take the preparation H and rub it all over the fat on his stomach. Okay. And then wrap it in saran wrap. And he would sleep that way. And then the next morning, he'd clean it all off. Stuff like that. And it would draw out
all the moisture
from the fat cells. And when they went to tape you for the tape, if you're close to being overweight, they'll do a tape measurement. And if the tape measurement gets you, they can kick you out of the army or start the process anyway. So what they would do is they would lose that inch or two of belly fat, do the taping, and he'd pass long enough to get the PT test out of the way, and they wouldn't have to worry about it for another 6 months. So. And then he'd have 6 months to get rid of the damn weight. So. But you used to see that, like, you get guys that would break a leg or twist an ankle, and they couldn't do regular, PT or anything like that. So they do what they could, but they start gaining weight because they couldn't go out in the field like everybody else. So they were doing all the rear echelon duties and eating regularly.
Yeah.
It didn't actually. The thing was, Carl, it didn't actually draw the moisture out of your system, just the skin. So you weren't taking it out of your digestive system, so to speak.
You were taking it out of the subcutaneous fat.
Exactly.
So it's a great way to get rid of a little bit of beer gut.
Temporarily,
because it's going to come back real quick.
It actually takes about 2 hours. So you got to time it right.
Your body is a wonderful machine, but there is no complete solution.
For those of you out there who don't believe that story, ask any Army recruiter from the 70s and 80s. They'll tell you all about it.
Well, it also sounds like high school wrestling trying to make weight.
Something like that. But don't they usually try to go? Oh, do they want to be lighter to wrestle because they can wrestle people that aren't as heavy as them, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe that's the principle. Yeah,
which is cheating. Wrestle your class. Damn.
Well, what if you can't win in your class, but you can win in a lower class if you just lost a little bit of water?
Yeah.
It sounds like all those men who claim gender identity and compete in women's sports.
Well, I do remember when I was wrestling junior high, somebody came up with the brilliant idea of, to make weight, magnesium citrate drink.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Okay. I did wrestling for a short period of time at the YMCA one summer. Okay. and I was one of the smallest kids in wrestling, so I did not work out well. But again, everyone wanted to get down to my weight class, so to speak. But considering some of those moves they do in real wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be near anyone that had been drinking laxatives like that. So,
Well, they do it. You make weight, and then you've got a day before you wrestle in the tournaments.
really,
Yeah.
because they usually, as you came into the tournament and signed up, as you walked in, you were in your wrestling clothes.
Yeah.
And that's where they weigh you. And then they decide who you could weigh and who you couldn't, or something like that.
But yeah, he thought it was a brilliant idea, and he made weight. He said he'd never do that again.
Well, yeah, you spend 48 hours sitting on the toilet without a cell phone before cell phones were invented with no
Yeah.
entertainment.
Confucius say, karma is a bitch.
Hey, you can only read so much stuff on the back of a shampoo bottle.
Yeah, that
strangely enough,
requires you to have taken the shampoo bottle with you.
now, wait a minute. We had an AM/FM clock radio in the bathroom. Okay, so I could at least listen to the radio. We had a magazine rack in the bathroom when I was a kid. Okay, and we had a subscription to Newsweek or Time, or one of. I know we had a subscription to Newsweek. I think we had one to Time for a while.
Well, I'm gonna tell
Reader's
you,
Digest is your friend.
I'll tell you, sucking down a bottle of magnesium citrate, reading and playing on the phone is not anything you have time to do.
Yes. I believe the proper terminology is religious experience. Because
Yeah.
you're going to sit there in that toilet for about 2 hours going, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God.
Yeah,
Please make it stop.
like everything else, this too shall pass. It may pass like a kidney stone, but it will pass.
I think I just passed a pancreas.
The cherry pie that I ate back in the early 90s just came out.
Hey, I finally got rid of those pennies I ate when I was 2.
Oh Lord. And John, yes, when I was single, I actually had a bookshelf in the bathroom within easy reach of the toilet.
I have 4 books right now in my bathroom that are.
And I had a biography of Led Zeppelin, the autobiography of George Harrison, several short story collections, and
I have 2 that I keep.
no, I did not put the Watchtowers and Awake in there for just in case I ran out of toilet paper. But that would make a good story if it had actually been true.
I have the 2 I always keep in there. I've got one of the Uncle John's bathroom readers. It's the one on military trivia or whatever, or Uncle John's salute to the military. I believe that's what it's called. And then I've got a book of military quotations. So it's always fun.
There's actually a young lady that markets a book of various lengths of stories as the toilet papers. Some of them are really short, 1,000-word stories. Some of them are novellas, just in case you're having a difficult time. But her idea is to keep you entertained when you cannot leave that particular chair. And she runs ads on the Traveling TARDIS doing their live streams. She's got a great sense of humor, but Oh, and but one of the features of the book is it's got this little wire clip in the binding, and it has an imitation roll of toilet paper you can use as a bookmark. I think that's so cute. But I don't know. Oh, and she swears if you order the book directly from her, she will wash her hands before she autographs it. Like I'm going to
Oh,
trust that.
I just thought of
The
something.
unicorn lady. Yes, that's the one, Carl.
I just thought of something, Dan and Joe.
Treat it gently. It's in a strange place.
John missed the most epic opening of Stupid O'Clock.
Oh, you would do this again just as I have to go
Wait a
to the
minute.
bathroom
Wait a minute.
again.
Joe, all this stuff is on YouTube
Do what?
and Facebook. I ain't missing nothing.
Okay, go back and watch it.
Okay. See.
I will be back in just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the notification of copyright violation from YouTube and Facebook.
There's
Yeah,
one
in
that keeps
Saudi
popping-
Arabia.
There's one that keeps popping up saying a video has been removed, but it won't tell me what it is or on which page.
Yeah. No, Carl, I'm not going to play it again. I want John to experience it.
It's an experience, all right.
I don't know if y'all. There's a few things that were in the news today that were interesting. Whoopi Goldberg was in the news today, and I was like, oh boy, what has she done this time? Because I'm actually kind of a fan of Whoopi Goldberg, but turns out she's mad at the makers of Diablo 4.
Okay.
The video game Diablo 4 just came out. Did not come out on Mac, and she is a Mac user. She is also a diehard Diablo fan, which I'm like, now I got something else to talk to Whoopi Goldberg about at the next sci-fi convention, except for, besides Star Trek. And she's like, why did they put it out on all these other things? They couldn't put it out on Mac,
It's real simple. They didn't want to pay Apple the damn money.
No.
What?
I'm not saying anything. You just hit a nail on the head.
I hit it so hard it slid. It popped out the other side of the board.
See, that's what all these Apple customers need to do is they need to start protesting, like sending letters to Apple about why don't you pay Diablo 4 to put their game on your systems? Because Apple's digging a hole.
Oh, yeah.
They may have good computers for certain things, especially audio. A lot of audio people like it. Some video people kind of like it. Of course, they ain't what they used to be.
Well, you've seen their new goggle setup that they've got, hadn't you? It's like Oculus, but you can actually see through it, but see everything out going on projected on the inside of the screen. $5,000 freaking dollars for the damn thing.
Somebody needs to go up to the Apple people and tell them a little story about Disney's Star Wars hotel.
Yeah.
And how $5,000 pop ain't going to cut it.
Yeah.
Oh, John, you missed a lot of talk about food earlier.
Oh,
also.
yeah.
Have you ever had a gooey butter cake?
I couldn't hear you.
Have you ever had a gooey butter cake?
I think so.
So, the main ingredient is powdered sugar.
Yeah. That's a lot of cakes. Yeah.
A pound of it.
Yeah.
And I had talked about a few different recipes earlier. There's another really good version to do you use a devil's food cake for the bottom, cherry pie filling in the center, and then in the gooey topping, mix in some dark chocolate chips with it, and then bake it.
You know what's interesting? I've actually got all that stuff in my pantry right now.
Well, links in the private chat. So, their version's a little bit different. They only use 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. I use the whole bag.
There's one I want to try, and I haven't yet. There's a restaurant here in Chattanooga called Rembrandt's Coffee Shop.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, it's up in the Bluffview Art District next to Hunter Art Museum. Looks out over the river. Nice place to go of an evening. Sit out in the gardens. Just eat your whatever that you get. Sweet thing. Drink some coffee. Chat with friends. There's a nice Italian restaurant next door. Stuff like that. But they had this thing called a chocolate decadence cake.
Go on.
It is a flourless chocolate cake, and the one they make has 4 different kinds of chocolate in it. It looks kind of like a cheesecake. But instead of using flour to make the cake, they use cocoa powder.
Oh, keep talking dirty to me.
They use a chocolate graham cracker crust. So I'm trying to remember. There's a chocolate sprinkle on it, and then a chocolate, or I'm sorry, they used a raspberry drizzle and fresh whipped cream. And it was
that sounds sinful.
It chocolate decadence, aptly named, and it is usually, because I was in the Army for so long, I eat like a vacuum cleaner. There it went. I actually have to concentrate to slow down my eating, especially in polite company. This is the one dessert that I will actually eat slowly without any motivational factors whatsoever. It's that kind of dessert that you just have to sit there and take a little bite, let it melt in your mouth. It's like,
I'm sure that had nothing to do with Michaela just showing up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, pretty much, Donna.
Well,
No, I understand what you're talking about. You got to scarf your food down. Where I used to work before I worked at the city, worked at a gas station. I have been known to be pumping gas and eating a hamburger at the same time.
I see no problem with that. As long as you remember which hand to switch.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, one time it took me nearly
why are there bite marks in the gas nozzle?
One time it took me nearly an hour to eat a McDonald's salad.
Yeah, I can see that.
Of course,
Always one interruption after another.
Of course, I used to dread when the first of the month fell on a Friday.
I'm waiting for the other.
Yeah, he does these long dramatic pauses that are just really annoying. Okay, go ahead.
Paydays, and then everybody wants to buy gas at the same time while they got money in their pocket.
I never have money. That's why I have credit cards. Good grief.
Well, this was before credit cards were. Oh, I'd hate credit. That was back when you had to.
Hey, I actually did that 2 years ago at a gas station, somewhere between Knoxville and North Carolina, South Carolina, and here. I don't remember the route, but went in there, bought a whole tank of gas, walked up expecting a card reader. They still had the clack clack
Most
old fashioned thing.
When the internet first came out and everybody had the card readers that were hooked to the phone lines and everything like that,
Yeah.
people had the clack machines. I can't remember. There was actually a term for those. I can't remember what they called.
Imprinter.
Well, people would
I think he's
those,
right.
under the cash, right underneath the cash register, just in case the power went out or the phone, the credit card company couldn't be reached or anything like that.
When I first started working at Staples back in 2002, we still had the old manual. Had the 3-part carbon copy. You'd lay the credit card in there,
and a couple of shoe boxes full of carbon copies.
Yep.
Yeah, really.
And
you never know when the power's going to go out and you're going to lose all the newfangled devices, and you have to rely on the mechanical thing that works.
We had an emergency box.
Can you imagine doing that to a kid these days?
Oh Lord.
Power's out. Here, use this. Clunk.
It was bad enough back in the early 2000s. We had a power outage at the store, and we pulled out our little emergency kits, which had the latest Staples, like big Staples catalog that the businesses normally got. So it had every single product under the sun. Flashlight, calculator, and then the old school credit card runner.
And the list of local people whose checks or credit cards you were not allowed to accept anymore.
Yep.
And if they tried to pass one to the other, you had to call the cops.
I remember we had a pair of scissors.
Oh!
You remember those? Card declined, destroy card. You pulled out and cut it in half right in front of them.
Going back to what Joe Dog was saying earlier about trying to eat while working, I worked at the Munster Staples for a short time. I was a key holder there and head of electronics. About a month after I started over there, the sales manager went on a medical leave of absence. So I ended up being the fill-in manager. Well, since I wasn't a full-fledged manager, I wasn't supposed to be running the store past 10 a.m. by myself. And our general manager had already booked a vacation and was at the point where he couldn't get refunds on anything, so he was going on vacation come hell or high water. And so we had a manager from one of the Chicago stores helping fill in, and it's coming up on 10 o'clock and he's not there yet. 10 o'clock hits, he's still not there. 10:30 hits, I'm calling his store going, hey, you know where this guy's at? He hasn't shown up yet. Oh, you didn't get the email? Well, no, I don't have access to the manager's emails. They won't give me access. Oh, well, he's not going to be there till noon. Oh, shit. One of the other associates was going on lunch, and she goes, hey, I'm running down to Arnie's. Do you want an Italian beef? I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be good. So she brings it back. She's like, hey, I put it in the manager's office for you. I said, okay. I go back there. I unwrap it. Smells phenomenal. I go to take a bite. Joe to copy center. Shit. Set it down. Go over there. Type in my numbers for an override. Walk back to the manager's office. Pick the sandwich up. Joe to customer service. God. Walk out to customer service. Type in my numbers for an override. Walk back in a third time. Joe to copy center. Screw it. I can chew this and swallow it before I get over there.
Yep. Sometimes you got to take a bite and then get up out of the chair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, luckily the copy center was on the other side of the store, so I had time to chew and swallow before I got over there.
Oh, hell, I would have just took the sandwich with me. That's probably against the rules.
I was getting to the point where I didn't care what the rules were, though.
You were already breaking them anyway, so What's another?
Well,
Really, what are they going to do? Fire you?
well, they actually did get the permission because I could run it. I could run the store by myself after 10 a.m. with permission from loss prevention and the regional vice president. And apparently they got that permission.
Oh, Lord.
And then when that manager got there, I had to tell him the password into the inventory system because each store had their own password. And apparently he still screwed up that night when he was going around and he was helping out by scanning all the empty slots on the shelves to do the pull down report. Logged into the inventory gun under his store number.
Oh.
Scanned everything, generated a report, and apparently he was standing by the printer going, why ain't this printing? He went back in the handheld, told it to print again. He's waiting. Asked one of the other associates, this printer down or something? No, it worked for me a little bit ago. Prints it a third time, finally gets a call from his store. Hey, you looking for this report? And the bad part was because he was logged in under his store, he had to go through and scan everything again, not just to get it to print to our printer, but it was pulling up the inventory for his store.
And his store might not have been needing those items.
Yep.
Yep. It's amazing what people can accomplish when they forget to use the right code to log into something.
Well,
there was an inventory system that I used to have to work with, and I would have to go in and back out things that another employee had done using the wrong code, and then put it back in with the right code. And that was like the part-time bit of my job because I had been trained to use the system, and I was the emergency backup. Whereas the guy that screwed up was the designated dumbass. He's gone, retired now, thank God. And I am no longer concerned with that particular piece of inventory software that I hate so much because it was written in Germany, so it was normal there to have to enter the same information in a dozen places without making a typo in order to get it to work. Did not take into account that the system was going to be used by Americans that had their greatest computer expertise with an Xbox rather than a desktop. So unless there was a jump code, they couldn't do it. So I'm so glad to be out of that.
We used AS400 for our inventory. And we also used it for ordering stuff from the warehouse, like any supplies and stuff we needed, like bags, shirts, things of that nature, toilet paper, even. And back when I worked at the Valparaiso store, the operations manager that was there when I first started Karen. She was a great manager. Loved working with her. She took no shit from customers, and she was doing a supply order one day and had transposed 2 numbers of the SKU. Didn't realize it
Mm-hmm.
until we got our order on the next shipment from the warehouse, and we had 5 boxes of tampons. Apparently, some of our stores have the little tampon vending machine in the women's restroom.
Ah,
Ours did
yes.
not. But all the female employees that worked at our store didn't have to buy anything for a while.
Hey, serendipity.
Yep.
Have you heard of a marvelous little program called SAP?
That I have not.
Second audio program?
No, it's apparently it's in German, so I don't know what the words are that it stands for, but it is an accounting, ordering, inventory control, whatever, fill in the blank program that I loathe with a white hot passion that equals the heat from a dwarf star. And unfortunately, I was one of the first 18 people to be trained on this thing. So when something went wrong, I was the emergency backup, what do we do person. And it's gotten better because it's been re-edited time and time and time again to get rid of some of the needless duplication of data entry. But I'm so glad that I'm out of that. We had a fellow that was very desperate to go from being an hourly employee to being a member of management, as if that were something to aspire to. So he volunteered to undertake 3 people's jobs that included the SAP data entry. Thankfully, one of those 3 people was me. So he took over all the stuff that I had been doing, and I am no longer involved with it. And when he didn't get promoted to management for taking over 3 hourly employees' jobs and screwing it all up, he retired early. Someone else bid on that job, and the company soon discovered that, there was a reason that 3 people were doing this. It's too complicated for one person to do and get entirely correctly, along with everything else that those 3 jobs entail. They've added a second person now. So far, they have not contacted me to resume my previous duties.
Well, I think they know you're out of there.
Yeah, that would be my argument. Look, I've got until New Year's Day, after which I will work one day in January and one day in February. And you are going to have to give me 2 truckloads of money. Not just 1, but 2, because I've been there for 45 years. And my retirement is substantial.
Yeah, Carl, I have seen that happen way too many times at my job that I retired from. And that's why I'm so glad I got out when I did.
That's exactly my point too. My mom wants me to keep working, and I'm going. You know, Daddy worked until he was in his 70s, and then 6 months after he retired, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and 2 years later, he was dead.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I mean, I don't care about whether or not I'm at risk for Alzheimer's. I am going to retire while I am still relatively middle aged.
yeah.
Um,
Uh, well, I am reaching now the years of retirement to where everybody starts dropping dead.
Mm.
So every time they tell me a problem, health problem coming in, I'm going, oh, hell, here it comes. Oh, I got good news on the liver.
oh,
Last results show no sign of cirrhosis. The
Excellent.
ultrasound, it is showing like a fatty liver. So I'm going to have to sort of watch what I eat and avoid the Tylenol and avoid the fun stuff. But
oh man, still can't have pickled eggs. Okay.
no, pickled eggs are still there. But yeah,
Thank God John's not here.
uh,
He'd be holding a gun on you right now. Um,
uh, yeah, Carl, still none of that.
yeah, that's okay. I'll take up Joe's slack.
Hmm. But they're going to be doing another ultrasound and test in July to see where I'm going. My numbers are coming down, and everything is on the high range by 1 point.
Joe Dog, don't give me straight lines.
What?
We already know where you're going, and your number's going to be up soon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should not joke like that. That was rude. I apologize. I'm
Oh,
glad you're taking care of yourself, though. I really am, because we
yeah.
want to keep you around for a long, long time.
Yeah. Donna says, "You're such a good friend, Dan. Willing to take up the slack for me."
Hey, I regret that I only have one liver to give for my friends.
Hmm. Well, actually, you could give away half of it, and in 5 years, you could turn around and give away half again, and still have enough.
Nah, I'm greedy. I'm going to keep all I've got. There was a time though when there's a friend of mine that needed a kidney transplant, and I went to see whether or not I'd be a decent donor for them, and it turned out no, I wouldn't. But that this was a very important person to me,
Yeah.
so I would have been willing. I was willing to get checked out, but it turns out wrong type. But
Well, I went and I applied into that whatever that program is, and I actually matched somebody on a kidney. They did the CAT scan. I got a rock quarry in the left kidney, and they went, "Nope, no, thank you." I said, "They can have that left one." No, no, no.
It's entirely too much shale deposits. Oh,
They actually said I may be a candidate to slice and dice and be vacuumed out.
I'd be asking about the viability of the ultrasound rock smasher.
Oh, yeah. they do that every now and then. And then you pee sand for about a week. But yeah, the way I'm making them up, they may actually have to, go in and deep clean.
Mm.
Carl, I wish you hadn't said that.
Most likely, Curl. They're just laying in wait in ambush for later.
Hey, there have been times I've had, cramps and pains over there. And okay, and then it goes away. Then next morning I'm in the bathroom. Psh, peek, psh, peek, peek. Psh. No, I ain't going to fish them out either. What, Dan?
It reminds me of something that was a phrase when I was in high school, but it's very inappropriate and whatnot, and would have to be modified for a different portion of anatomy. So, it's better left unsaid. What? I said better left unsaid. Doesn't mean I wouldn't bring it to your imagination if you got a big enough imagination to figure out what I'm talking about. We only got 15 minutes left. It's about time for.
Oh yeah! Don't forget Captain Dan's CDB infused liniment.
Yeah, untouched by human hands. I like the other one better. Really.
Which one?
Oh, the first one that
Lewis made up.
That Lewis made up. Yeah, that one I go. Yep, I wouldn't mind having that one on a billboard behind my tombstone. Yep, we'll go with that. What do we got here? Oh, John's still on break. Damn it, Carl. Oh, Lord. Oh. We've only got, 12 minutes left?
And Dawn just said she wasn't popping in. And man, I was looking for the button because it's almost time.
Well, I can back out and come back, just to keep things normal.
Nah.
It'll be all right.
Well, then again, when have we ever been normal?
Last time that was on record was 1963. Yeah, I still remember where I was when I heard the news that JFK had been assassinated. I was sitting in the living room playing with Matchbox cars because I was 6. And playing with Matchbox cars was the best thing I could do right then.
And believe it or not, it's been this November is 60 years.
I still remember the pattern of the carpet. And it was one of those hand-tied rag rug sort of things where you had big oval. And I was using one of the white ovals as the racetrack for the Matchbox cars. And I sat there and I go, this is not something that I should understand, but I do. And that's about the time my mom and dad started worrying about me being a little bit too advanced for my age. And
Lon's here.
You came in anyway. Thank you. Now
She's
go
look-
eat.
She's looking at me mad.
She's on the phone. She's looking at you 5 minutes ago.
And
Oh, sorry about that. One of my dogs is not feeling well. So.
Oh no!
Ah.
I've already hit the button, John, when Dawn got here.
Oh, darn it. I hit it again.
Oh,
Hi, Dawn.
I think she's froze.
I know she's froze. I hope she's gotten up and went to go eat because she said she
there
was
she is.
Oh,
hungry.
there she is. She finally caught up.
Okay.
Is that thing still timing out on you?
No, we're at it somewhat. I don't know. I haven't been on much, so. Okay, I'm gonna go eat dinner, but I figured I better appease all you morons. I mean, you lovely human beings.
All right.
I resemble one of those remarks, but I can't tell which.
Love you
Well, I
guys.
know
Bye.
I'm not human. See
Good
you,
night,
Don.
Dan. Good night, Dawn.
Good night.
Ah.
Oh, why is this popping up in my Facebook feed?
I
What?
don't know.
How to escape quicksand. You
Never
know,
know
They
when you
don't
might
have
need to know that.
quicksand in the Middle East. It's dehydrated.
actually, we did have a lot of quicksand in the Middle East.
You really did?
Yes.
Really?
Wow.
Well, Iraq is mostly it's very low-lying delta and two big rivers.
Okay.
Yes, we are, Dawn.
Now that you're gone.
Iraq, Iran, Irate, one of them I countries.
Iraq, Iran, my Sharona.
Oh no. It's somebody did a parody song way back in the day.
Bomb, 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 around.
He got the one. He got the one right out of my head. Y'all should worry. Joe Dog has access to my brain now.
I've got that cassette tape laying over here somewhere.
I've got it on vinyl.
Did you know that it turns out vinyl is very much a European American thing?
No, but
You know why?
no. Why?
You can't have vinyl records in the desert.
They warp up.
They turn into tortillas.
Yeah, well, 8 tracks aren't going to fare much better.
That most of their stuff was either cassette tape or when I got their CDs and DVDs and such. Night, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
All right, we got 6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I've already got the other room open. Thank you again, Mr. Bachman, for the cake recipe. I will do my best to get it to Vic and Joanna over on Holly the Cafe Boat. I can't promise that they will use it. And it certainly is not going to go in her cookbook that she's written. And I need to buy a copy of that because, well, I don't do cakes and things.
Oh,
I'm not
have
that
any of y'all
talented.
seen that guy that does the ancient recipes? Like the poverty cake from 1940 or 1930?
Oh, Dylan Hollis.
Yeah, Dylan.
Yes.
I've heard of him. I don't know that I've actually seen it, but it does sound very familiar.
Oh, it's hilarious.
There was somebody that was trying to brew beer from the recipe they found on cuneiform in Ur. Might have been the same guy. I don't know. I mean,
Well, there was some guy, he was some botanist that found yeast molds or yeast spores in
in a piece of 25 million year old amber,
and started brewing beer with it.
and he managed to reconstitute the yeast after being in amber for 25 million years. And
Wow.
not only did he manage to reconstitute the yeast, he bought in on a brewery and they started brewing a beer with that yeast.
With that yeast. Whoa.
And apparently they call it Jurassic Brew.
Yeah. But they went out of business about 8 years ago.
Oh.
I know.
Evidently, it wasn't a good enough gimmick.
Yeast hasn't changed much in 50 million years. So, it's still the same plant matter it was back then. So
there have been Greek amphora who the not recovered from a shipwreck. Let me make that clear. From caves and things where they analyzed the dried residue, and it was pretty much the same as the Viking honey mead recipe. And honey is one of those things which it's a natural antibiotic and lasts practically forever. You might have to heat it up to get it to go back to a liquid state after it's been there long enough to crystallize, but still there. Still honey. Weird substance. Very weird substance.
Well, there's the Shackleton camp at Antarctica.
Everything's been deep frozen for what?
150 years.
Whoa, yeah.
Well, they found it's either bourbon or scotch. And they want to, bring a bottle. They just want one bottle. And it's an international consortium who can't agree on letting them get one of the distilleries getting one bottle to
analyze and try and reproduce.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, aged in a glacier for 150 years.
Wonder if you declare salvage.
No, it's all protected.
Yep, Antarctica. Nobody's allowed to own anything,
and nothing can be nothing historic can be removed. And we got to go, guys.
Yep.
It is.
See y'all on the other side.
All right. Thanks for showing up, John, Diane, Joe. Glad y'all are here. John, I will not be here Saturday.
Neither will I.
And neither will Dan. So,
yep.
Darn it, I was going to have William Shatner on as a special guest.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, go right ahead. But
guess you'll just have to miss it. Okay.
Yeah, you've got the con Saturday night. So with that, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Honey Badger doesn't